Hey, today I wanted to make a video about one of my favorite lenses, the Canon 135 f2. So the first reason I really like this lens is because it's so sharp. It's actually one of Canon's sharpest lenses. And being so sharp isn't always a super good thing, especially if you're taking portraits. A lot of people don't like, every feature on their face to be super sharp. I'm definitely in the camp of I'd rather have too sharp and then later I can skin soften or something like that, than having not sharp images and then there's really nothing you can do later. You can't really sharpen up a dull photo. So number two is the f2 aperture, of course. It's really isolates your subject. You can even shoot full length with an out of focus background, which is really cool. And the compression is really nice as well. You can see in these examples, I had to be really, really far away, but it's a full length and the entire model pops because they're isolated so much by the wide aperture. A couple quick things, it focuses really fast and it's not super expensive, so that's really good. So this lens isn't without its shortcomings. It's not weather sealed, which is just something you need to worry about if you're out in the rain or something like that. A couple of my flashes aren't water sealed either, so it's just like, if it's raining, I need to just take that into consideration. Another thing that some people might have to get used to is how far back you need to be. Obviously, 135 is a pretty long focal length. I tend to want to give a subject a lot of room. I don't like to be right in front of them, so actually it kind of works for me, but I guess some people like to be really up close to their subject and direct them or, something like that, but that's not really something you can do, which I kind of like, but, everybody to each his own, and it doesn't work in every situation. But one thing that's kind of not good or bad is just the way the lens makes a subject feel, I guess you'd say. I don't want to get too arty-farty, but because the lens is so long, it definitely gives a separation to your subject. I'll show a couple of examples here where I was taking headshots and I'll put side by side a shot with the 135 and then with a 50. For this application, I kind of wanted to more shoot with the 50 just because if you look at this one, it almost gives the sense of that person is, I don't know, untouchable. They seem far away in a way. And then you look at this one and it almost looks like they're up close and you connect with them a little more. And I think this client specifically wanted their construction workers here to be like approachable, relatable, and stuff like that. So in that application, I think the 135 was wrong. I mean, wrong in a way. I mean, I don't think it was bad, but it just didn't quite give what the client wanted. But in a lot of ways, I think this shines in the sense of like, if you shoot something like fashiony, you almost want your subject to look larger than life. I actually, a lot of the times, will shoot up slightly at a subject with this. They look a little cooler, a little taller, almost, like I said, unreachable. They seem like a lot cooler. I don't know, hard to explain, but hopefully with these examples, you'll be able to get an idea. So another thing you want to watch out for when shooting with this lens is it doesn't have IS, so camera shake kind of comes into play because the lens is so long. The general rule is to have your shutter speed like double your focal length without IS if you don't have IS. So I wouldn't shoot with this. 400th is pretty safe. And the problem I ran into a couple times was when I was doing some headshots, I was mixing ambient light with some flash. So the sync speed of flashes are 200th of a second. So if I was shooting, wide open, some ambient was coming in, which I kind of wanted, and I'll show an example. So the normal sync speed is 200th, which is actually kind of too slow for this. So a lot of these I went to high speed sync, which isn't a big deal for flashes. Sometimes studio strobes, can't do that. So just be careful with that kind of thing because you definitely need like a 400th of a second just to make sure that there's no camera shake. So hey, thanks for watching, and let me know in the comments if you like or dislike the 135. Thanks.